Hi guys, it's Emma Vigling with TYT Politics. I'm actually here in Philadelphia, and the big news that was reported on Sunday is that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is out. O-U-T. That's how you spell it, right? So she's out. She's no longer going to be the chair of the DNC. A lot of Sanders supporters are really happy about that. In the wake of the email scandal, it only seems appropriate. She was now definitively not an unbiased referee for the DNC for the primaries, but was very clearly participating in favoritism for Hillary Clinton. And the leaks show that essentially they were trying to sabotage the Bernie campaign and characterize it as inept, smear it. They tried to call him an atheist. That was, or make certain voters in certain demographics believe that he was an atheist because, God forbid, someone doesn't believe in God. Which, again, in my opinion, shows such a 1980s, 1970s way of thinking about campaigning, about thinking about the electoral process that's just permeated the Clinton campaign. I guess I'll touch on that in a little bit, but the kicker and kind of the gut punch is that she was immediately hired afterwards as an honorary chair on the Clinton campaign. So they're not even being subtle about it anymore, not trying to hide it. Yeah, she was essentially in the tank for us the whole time. And as soon as she gets fired, we're going to give her a little severance package of easing her out of her humiliation by putting her on our campaign and helping us with our terrible, terrible strategy against Donald Trump. So yeah, she's out. This morning, she was booed heavily when she was addressing the Florida delegation in Philadelphia. She's still on until Friday, but I think all of her appearances are canceled, which seems like the smart move. Although I don't really know why they wouldn't just out her right now or oust her right now, because she's not acting in any capacity, and also it's just going to add more contention to the campaign or to the convention. So the interim chair is Donna Brazile. You guys may know her from if you watch CNN or have mainstream media in the background like I do often. She is, I like her, but, so she takes over on Friday. She has reiterated that Bernie lost fair and square, which, I get that a lot of the people in the Democratic Party are not going to say that he was cheated. But it seems like a little bit of salt in the wounds. And also, she was implicated in this email scandal as well. She had emails saying that she will cuss out the Sanders camp, and then also calling their response to their endorsement of her stupid. And she says, I don't even know how to respond to Bernie anymore. So there was, at the very least, an exacerbation with the Bernie camp on the part of Donna Brazile. Doesn't seem like there was the same amount of vitriol and open bias that Debbie Wasserman Schultz exerted, but it's still, she's still establishment, Donna Brazile. She's still going to appease people. She wasn't the Bernie champion that we were probably hoping for. But, I talked actually to Ben Jealous yesterday, and he said that he really approved of the pick of Donna Brazile. And I just saw a tweet from Nina Turner, who also said that she approved. I think they're being a little disingenuous, in my personal opinion. I think that the narrative that the Democratic Party right now is pushing is that they are unified. Bernie's not going to bring this up today. He's speaking today. Or he's opening the convention. No one's going to push this narrative right now. It's even the Bernie people, because they're all so afraid of Trump, and also because Bernie Sanders isn't an arrogant guy. He's not out to do this for himself. He wanted to push a certain set of beliefs and make the public believe, or show them a different way that you could view politics, a grassroots way. And he's achieved that, but he's not going to take down the Democratic Party for his own personal glory, as much as some Sanders supporters might like him too. He's just not that kind of guy. And, additionally, the narrative that the DNC is pushing is that the Russians were the hackers of the emails, which that my bullshit antenna went up for that, because it's all too convenient that the Russians, which is, again, such a 1980s narrative, like, the Russians are out to get us, the good guys, the Democratic Party. The Russians are with Putin, or Putin is with Trump. That's what I think what they're trying to push a little bit, is that we're the good guys. Putin has praised Trump, so come with us. Those scary Russians, those commies, those aren't the people that you want to be associated with. I think it's a weak sauce strategy. I'm not sure they have any evidence that the Russians were the ones that were hacking these documents. WikiLeaks hasn't said anything about that at all. So I would just take that with a grain of salt. And lastly, CNN has suspended Donna Brazile. Apparently she can't be as neutral as a former Trump campaign manager, who they just hired recently, obviously, Corey Lewandowski. So that's the state of affairs that we are at right now. Obviously, I'm happy that Debbie Wasserman Schultz is out. She was not a neutral arbiter, and there are even mainstream media people are saying that right now. It's just become so plain and clear. But it's frustrating that it took so much evidence and so many leaked documents for the DNC and for the mainstream media to pay attention to this. I mean, did they think that Sanders camp was just crying wolf, or did they think that they were just making things up? Probably, because it's projection and most of politics is just a spin zone. But the Sanders campaign has always been quite honest and quite a campaign that was filled with a lot of integrity. But because of classic projection, a lot of people in Washington and a lot of mainstream media people were unable to see that. So they were being honest. There was obvious bias. And it's depressing that this came out just now, because there's probably very little that we can do. But obviously, I encourage everyone to make their voices heard and show that we're not going to stand for this anymore, or that progressives aren't going to stand for this anymore. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to keep you guys updated as the convention goes along. I should be here for a few days. Yeah, have a great Monday, guys.